Anger is never a primary emotion. When you believe in this model of communication, anger is always, 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 always a secondary emotion. Now, do you understand what I mean when I say secondary emotion?
Yeah.
There's always a more vulnerable feeling underneath it. It doesn't mean that the anger is invalid. It's a very true, real, authentic, valid feeling. And we don't just ignore it, right? You want to give empathy to the anger as well. So I hear that you're really pissed. And I'm wondering if you're scared too. I'm wondering if you're really worried about how your parents are going to react to that. And the way, and you think this, I wouldn't necessarily say it, but I would think, and the way the fear is coming out is through your anger and through your attack. You know, I just understand that it's there. Anger is a product of jackal thinking, right? I cannot be angry with you. I cannot be angry with myself unless I'm judging you or me to be bad and wrong, right? Let me give you an example. Those of you that were here know about my 7-year-old kid. Well, he happens to be in this wonderful thing that I just am beginning to hate more and more, is this Pokemon crap. Right? Do we love Pokemon in here?
Gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all.
He made a trade the other day. There was a neighbor down the street. He made a trade on a card, and as soon as he made that trade, he regretted it. And so what did he do? He went into this guy's book of cards and took it back out. And they're walking down the street, and I see them one house down, a whole group. There's three kids from down the street and my boy. And I come out and I ask, what's going on here? And they explain the situation. We made the trade, and then Jamie just took it back, and he left. Basically, he stole. Right? The neat thing was I couldn't get Jamie to just give it up right away. It was really, really important to him, and he was having a lot of feelings. And I just asked the other guys, how about if you just give him some time? You're going to get it back. You know, don't worry about that. But I want it to happen in a way that works for everybody here. Let's just take some time. They said fine. And the boy who the card belonged to. Now this is the difference between being angry and being a giraffe, being in touch with the life energy. What this boy said to me, he said, it isn't so much that he stole from me. No, I'm sorry. It's not so much about the card, is what he said. It's not so much about the card. I do want the card, but it's not a big deal about the card. I just don't like the idea of people messing with my stuff, taking my stuff. If we were to translate that into real classical giraffe, very clear observation, feelings, needs, what he was saying is, I feel worried and I feel sad because I value my stuff, and I value being able to be at ease and at peace when people are around my stuff, so I don't have to be watching like a hawk, right? He didn't have to make Jamie bad and wrong. He didn't think, and this is jackal thinking. This kid is bad. You shouldn't steal. That is wrong. And those thoughts lead to anger. It's the thinking, it's the belief system that says, the evaluation, the judgment that you're bad and wrong, that then leads to me being angry. I cannot be angry with you unless I believe that you're bad and wrong. So those of you that struggle with your anger sometimes, what I would suggest is next time it comes up, ask yourself, all right, is there a deeper feeling here, number one? And number two, what are these thoughts that have to make that person wrong? He shouldn't have done that. He should have known better. Right? It's those thoughts that make us angry. Those are life-alienated thoughts. They are not connected with the precious life energy in here that will keep us in our compassion. You can still not be happy with the person's behavior. Right? I'm not suggesting be nice. This isn't a thing of you got to get nice in your communication. This is a thing of actually you'll probably be better off. I think, and tell me if I'm talking too much, I'm on a roll here. I think that it would have been harder for my son Jamie to have given the card back, which happened 20 minutes later. He walked right down to the house and he handed it over, and I expected him to come right back, but he stayed down there and played for another 2 hours. Everything was cool. And I think that was made a whole lot easier for him as a result of the fact that John didn't judge him as bad and wrong. All he cared about and he stayed connected with, I want my stuff, I want to feel safe. with having my stuff protected and people aren't going to take it. Had he gone into, Jamie's a jerk, Jamie's a stealer, he's a thief, he's wrong and he's bad, I'm willing to bet you any money Jamie wouldn't have given up the card nearly as fast, and their relationship would have not been in a good place. They wouldn't have gone on and played for another 2 hours. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So give me an example from your life of how you make people bad and wrong and get angry, times that you get angry. Don't think of it as the person bad and wrong. Think of it as a time that you got angry and you kind of wished you hadn't.
My mom cleaned my room for me.
What's that?
My mom had cleaned my room.
She wouldn't clean your room.
No,
You were getting angry.
She cleaned my room.
Oh, she did do it.
I don't want her to clean my room.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you get angry?
Yes.
Okay.
I got really pissed off.
So what were you saying in your head about Mom?
I don't want to say it.
Okay, before those thoughts.
I felt violated because it was my stuff. I mean, she had already done it, and I already talked to her about it.
Okay.
Like, I don't feel that it's right that you come into my room and you go through my stuff, and that's what it looks like to me that you're doing it, and if you don't want to do it.
Right. So 3 things I hear in that you're making her bad or wrong. Number 1, I feel violated is really a mix of emotion plus judgment about her, right? She violated me is basically what that's saying.
Yeah.
Right? So to violate someone is wrong. It's a bad thing to do, right? It's a judgment. You violated me. Secondly, you just use the words, it's not right, which is a nicer way of saying that's wrong. Right?
Yeah.
And third thing is, she did it twice. And I didn't hear you say these words, but I'm guessing they were in there. She should have known better. What is she, stupid? And what I want to tell you is the reason you were angry is because you were thinking that way.
Well, how am I supposed to think there on that?
It's not how you're supposed to think.
Well, all right,
It's
what am I
perfectly
supposed to
okay.
say?
All I want you to do is notice the consequences to yourself if you do think that way. Let me tell you a different way you could think. I would want to do a couple of things. First, I want to be aware of my anger. All right, it's not that giraffes don't have anger; it's that they just translate it really quickly. Right? A giraffe says, "I didn't want that to happen. I'm pissed. I don't like that." But what's deeper than that? I value my privacy. I don't want her messing in my stuff. Right? So I'm kind of scared that she was going to mess, damage, or find something out in my stuff that I didn't want her to. We won't even check that out. We don't need to. Or it could be just, I have a need for understanding. When I ask for something to happen and it doesn't happen, I don't feel understood, and it really hurts. It's painful. And it's scary because I want to feel understood. Right? So you start out there. Start out with, what is it that's uncomfortable for me? Basically, that's what we call giving yourself some empathy. I'm not going to focus in on the anger and what a jerk she is. I'm just going to focus in, man, I don't like that. Why don't I like that? Because I really value my privacy, blah, 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 right? You run down that list. Then, in terms of focusing your attention on her, you go back, instead of making her bad and wrong, you might want to take your best guess. Listen for her feelings and needs that are communicated by her behavior. What's the truth behind Mom's jackal
wanted
thinking?
to help her out.
Okay.
She wanted
I
to
want
clean
to
house.
be able
Perhaps.
to walk through.
She could have also wanted to get
Yeah.
actually snoop through her room and find stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Whenever my mom did my laundry or something, it was really just because she knew that I might be overwhelmed in the future, and she was trying to make my life a little bit easier.
At the time when I was a teenager and my mother would do the same thing, I thought the same thing. You know, she's going through my things, why is she doing this? But really, it was, she feels in order to have a productive life, you have to have an ordered, clean environment, and she's just trying to help out. So you don't have to worry about cleaning.
But that doesn't fit for you.
That's not it. That's so not it. Because, I mean, like, she'll come in and clean my room, but her side of the house is like a total pigsty.
So what do you think her motivation really is?
To look through my stuff.
Okay.
She's
so,
scared. I think that she's scared of, I don't know, she needs to know exactly what's going on in my life. You know what I mean? Which is kind of understandable in a way, but
She values
she
your
values
safety.
my safety.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Do the giraffe dance. Yeah. And that's all that this process is asking you to do, is to challenge your first level of thinking, because all of us have grown up in a culture that taught us to think like this.